Hi, it's Josh from Under the Table Hot Sauce. I'm here with my friend, the star of the show, Jimmy Farrow.
Yeah, what's up, JB?
Nah, nothing.
It's been a hot summer, and for all your barbecue needs, you can go to underthetablehotsauce.com. 13 unique flavors to choose from, created and bottled in a Long Island kitchen. Underthetablehotsauce.com. Let's go chow, JB.
Let's do it.
All the flavor, twice the burn.
I'm Rosa Mendez, and I'm here at the #1 Long Island broadcast, Monty and Pharaoh. I had the best time ever!
Hey, listen, Daddy, you're listening to the #1 broadcast, Monty and Pharaoh, Daddy, in Long Island. The best pro wrestling broadcast of all time, I think.
Jimmy, I got to tell you, man, it feels good to be back on YouTube. It was quite disappointing what happened to us, but we bounced back fairly quickly.
Well, what else would we do? We're almost at 5,000 subscribers.
Well, speaking of that, man, we need more members.
Okay.
What do you think we need to do to get the people of those 5,000 subscribers to come on and join the team as a Monty and the Pharaoh member?
Nudity is out of the question. Any other ideas?
I don't know, man. I don't know. But what I do have a few ideas.
Well, just like Prel, they should tell 2 friends, and they could tell 2 friends, and so on and so on. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Check out all our content.
But that's, you know what? That's why you're the star of the show, because guess what? Members get special content. Even we spoke about it. Pharaoh came to me one day and he goes, man, what's the deal? I can't even watch some of these videos because I'm not a member. And I said, there you go, Pharaoh. You got to be a member because this is what the members get. They get free content
Nice.
that none of the other fans that watch this show get.
That's right.
You get free autographs from some of these wonderful stars that come in, right?
Nice.
All you do is you go to the MNP webpage, or right, our own page, and shoot us an email and say, hey, man, I want a picture of Tommy Rich. I want a picture of whatever. And boy, that's on its way.
We give them their choice.
That's right.
We rock.
We do rock.
And you need to rock too. Join.
Talk a little bit, because he was always one of my favorites when I was young. If you could talk a little about Ricky Morton and the influence he had on your career.
Yeah, so I've had the opportunity to meet him twice. The first time I met him was, I think, about 2 months back at the Paul Morton Cup. I was fortunate enough to actually be in that match. And beforehand, he came in and he took the time to, come around, shake everybody's hand. But then when the match was beforehand, because the actual match for the cup was the last thing on the show. There were a bunch of matches before that. And I was sitting in the back and he came and sat next to me and was talking to me through all these matches. And he would, break down spots in the match as it was happening, just talking to me and say things like, how he did this, that was fantastic. How he did this, not as great. And then he would ask me questions about my style and whatnot. And what I noticed about him was that he really takes the time to invest in people and help us understand the little nuances of wrestling that not everybody gets.
Are the two schools similar? I mean, how are they similar and how are they different?
So they're similar in their general, I don't know if this will make sense, but like in their general vibe. You walk into both and you're standing in history, and it's this same feeling of utter privilege that I have to be able to be in both. But they're very different in the same sense, because the rosters are very different, and the general workings of show days, for example, are very different. At SOM, it's very based around the TV aspect. We work towards a camera. We work towards an audience. And behind the ring at SOM, there's not an audience. It's just one-sided. And at BWC, we almost embrace the fact that we're all learning, and it's a 360 effect for us at BWC. So I think there are similarities in the sense of the vibe, but in the operations, I think they're a little bit different.
All right. So, Sam.
Oh, go ahead, Benny. I'm sorry.
You go ahead, Dan.
I was going to say, both Jimmy Valiant with the Valiant brothers and Ricky Morton with the Rock and Roll Express are just legendary. I mean, two of the greatest tag teams in the history of wrestling. I was wondering if you've noticed working with either or both of them, I should say, if the tag team background helped with any of the in-ring training, because a lot of you see it, anybody that watches wrestling, just because you're a good wrestler or you know your way around a ring doesn't mean you can succeed in a tag team setting. It really takes that extra level. And I was wondering if you could kind of expand on whether or not the tag team training and experience that either of them had kind of played into the lessons you learned from them.
100%. And honestly, I don't think I had actually thought about this in this sense, but now that I think about it, 100%. And I think it's two-sided. Number one, the fluidity that a good tag team has to have in order to, number one, isolate an opponent and cut the ring in half, but also be able to tag in and out. The fluidity has to be perfect. And so I think both Jimmy and Ricky have that about them. The no wasted motion idea, the necessity for being aware of what's happening in the ring at all times. But then on the other side, in tag team matches, there are times when you are outside the ring and they know how to use those moments very wisely in the sense of getting the audience involved. And it also just preparing for what your opponents are going to do by being able to watch them and figure out their strategy. So in the sense of the fluidity and the crowd interaction, it's completely different coming from tag team wrestlers than it is just from singles competitors.
So Sam,